Hello, welcome to the accounting class. In today's class, we are going to discuss analyzing and recording transactions, and basically, we shall be focusing on the journal entries. So, if you watch this video completely, you will be able to learn how to make journal entries. So, let us begin. In the accounting process, first of all, we have to see that what are the various steps that are being used in the accounting process. The accounting process identifies business transactions and events, analyzes and records their effects, and summarizes and presents the information in reports and financial statements. So, identifying the transaction is the first thing. Second thing, what are the transactions and events you must know, we have already discussed in our previous class. Then you will need to analyze. Transaction analysis is also being discussed in the previous class. If you want to know the transaction analysis, you can watch my previous video. It will be available in the description. And records their effects and summarizes and presents informations in reports and financial statements. So ultimate objective of the process will be to prepare the financial statement that will come at the end. But here in this class we are going to discuss some 4 steps only. The first step is to analyze transactions. However, this has been discussed in detail in previous class. A little more can be discussed here, but main transaction analysis has been discussed in the previous class. Recording transactions, this is the main focus of today's class. The posting from journal to ledger and preparation of trial balance. These two will be discussed later on. Actually, this lecture is about the 2 steps: analyzing the transactions and events, recording the transactions and events. The next lecture we shall discuss the posting from journal to ledger and preparation of trial balance. So let us begin with the step 1, analyzing transactions and events. What is this? Identifying business transactions and events are a starting point. So first of all, we have to identify, we have already discussed this thing. Business transactions and events can be identified with source document. So where from you identify the business transactions? You can identify from the source documents, the document from which you can find the transactions. These documents can be in hard copy or soft copy. Nowadays, most of the source documents are in soft copy because basically the payments are through online. So the soft copy are being generated by the companies, by the vendor. So you can see that the soft copy of the receipts you find through email or from the websites. Examples of source documents are the sales tickets, purchase order, bills from supplies, employees, earning records, and bank statement. Bank statement is of course in a soft copy. You can download the bank statement by net banking. Based upon the source documents, the transactions and events are analyzed. So first step is to identify the transactions. You can identify the transactions from source documents. Now you have source documents, so you need to analyze. Analyzing the transactions will be based upon the accounting equation. In previous class, we have discussed much about the accounting equation and transaction analysis. So using the accounting equation, it will be helpful to understand how the transaction is affecting company's performance and financial position. So if anybody wants to know the effect upon the financial position of a company, so he can prepare the accounting equation, and with that he can know the effects of the transactions on the financial position. Now come to step 2, the recording transactions and events. Basically, recording transaction means preparation of the journal entries on the basis of rules of double entry. There is a double entry system. In the double entry system, one item or one account is debited and the other account is credited, which means with the same amount we have debit and with the same amount we have credit. So journal entry is prepared on the basis of rules of double entry. Therefore it is also called the double entry accounting. Now we have to see what are the rules of the double entry. The rules of double entry, first of all we shall take increase in assets is debited, decrease in asset is credited. So as you know, in the accounting equation we classify the accounts or transactions into three parts: assets, liabilities and equity. So for the assets, the rule is that increase in asset is debited and decrease in asset credited. What is the rule for liabilities? It is increase in liability credited, decrease in liability debited. You will see that the rules for the liabilities and equity are same. See the format after rules have been understood. You know the rule. Now based upon the rule you will make the journal entry. But in accounting there is a certain format. How to write the correct journal entry in the correct format, I will show you. So you need to prepare a journal entry format. The journal entry format will consist of the 5 items, 5 columns in fact. First column is for the date, where you will write the date of the transactions. Second column is the main column where you will write the items with debit and credit and with its explanation as well. Third column is the posting reference. Posting reference. It includes the page number where it has been posted. After the journal we need to make the ledger. We shall discuss in the next class how to post from journal to ledger. So any accounts which has been posted in ledger, what is the page number of that account in ledger, that page number is written. Actually we are learning the preparation of accounts, so we don't need this column to be filled. We can create the column but we shall leave it blank if no information is available. This is basically used when you are in the actual field of accounting. Now the 2 columns are for the amounts, the debit amount and credit amount. You can also use the symbol if you have, for example, if you are making the accounts in the United States and writing the currency in dollar, so you can write here dollar sign, or if you are in India you can write the sign of rupee. If you are in Saudi Arab you can write SAR. So it depends upon that which currency you are using to maintain the records. Now double entry accounting requires the following some points you must note. First point is that in the double entry accounting or the rules of journal entry says that at least 2 accounts are involved. In every transactions 2 accounts are involved. There may be more than 2 but not 1. One account is not affected at all. 2 accounts are involved. That's why we have the double entry, one with the debit and one with the credit. The second point is that the total amount debited must equal the total amounts of credit. So 2 accounts will be there and one account will be debited and one account will be credited, and the amount of debit and the amount of credit will be equal. Third point is that accounting equation is not violated. It means that after every transaction, whenever you make the journal entry, the accounting equation will be there. Accounting equation must not be violated. It means that in every case your assets will be equal to the liabilities plus equity. So this will hold true in all the cases. But there are some notes you must be very careful. I have seen that there are students who are confused with some points. They have some pre-assumptions which is totally wrong. So I want to clarify here that the assumptions that you are having in your mind is wrong. Now let us see what is that. It is possible that both the accounts of a transactions may increase or decrease. Both the accounts of a transaction may increase or decrease. Some students think that the accounts which they find in the transactions will have only increase and decrease. One will increase and one will decrease. No. The rule says that one will be debited and one will be credited. This is the rule. Increase or decrease is not certain that in all the cases the 2 items may be increase or decrease. So both the items may increase or both the items may decrease. For example, supplies purchased on credit. In this case, your supply is increasing, supply is an asset and you are purchasing on credit. So your accounts payable is a liability. Your supply is increasing and your liability is increasing. Both are increasing. This is an example. Second case, that both the accounts of a transactions may decrease. It is also possible that both accounts may decrease. For example, the amount of account payable paid. So account payable is a liability if you are making the payment of account payable, it means you are decreasing the liability. But if you are making the payment, so it means your cash will also be decreased. Cash is an asset and decrease in the asset. So you will see that one item is decreasing as accounts payable is paid, and the other item is also being decreased. Third case is that it is also possible that one account may increase and one account may decrease, or one account may decrease and other account may increase. So increase decrease is also possible. For example, equipment purchased for cash. So in this case, equipment is an asset, it is increased if you are purchasing, and cash you are making the payment for cash for purchase, so cash will decrease. So it is possible that one may increase and one may decrease. You must be very careful about this. Now see the steps involved in journality. I have tried to explain the steps involved in preparation of journality. This is my own creation for making you understand for your convenience. If you follow this step, you will easily be doing the journality. Now see the steps involved in the journality. In every transaction, you have to identify the items or identify the accounts. Every transaction, for example, you need to identify the cash, supplies, equipment, account payable, account receivable, common stock, etc. There are several items, several accounts. So what accounts are there in the transactions or events, you need to identify. If you identify the items or accounts, then you need to classify those items. You can classify those items as an asset, as a liability, or as a equity. If you have, for example, identify equipment, so equipment belongs to asset. If you identified account payable, so account payable is a liability. If you have identified revenues, revenue comes under equity. So in this way, every item that you have identified at step 1, you should classify them at step 2 as assets, liability, or equity. Now once you have classified at step 2, come to step 3. You must observe the increase or decrease in that item. You must observe the increase or decrease. Every item, as I told you in previous slide, that every item either may increase or may decrease, or both item may increase or both item may decrease. So for the item you need to increase. For example, if you are purchasing equipment, so equipment is an asset, you should identify it at step 2. At step 3, you should observe this equipment is increasing or decreasing. If you are purchasing, so of course it will increase. If you are selling the equipment, so of course equipment will decrease. So this increase or decrease you must observe, you must identify. If you have identified the increase or decrease in the assets that belongs to any class, now you need to apply the rules. Applying the rules of increase or decrease for that items that you have found and that you have classified. If assets is increasing, apply the rule of asset increase. If asset is decreasing, apply the rule of decrease in asset. Similarly, for the liabilities and for equity you will do. Any item of liability is increasing, so apply the rules of liability increasing. If any item of liability is decreasing, so apply the rules of liability decreasing. Similarly, for the equity increase and equity decrease you will apply. I have explained the rules for increase or decrease in one of my slides. Slide number 7. I can show you. Slide number 7, I think. Yeah, this one. Here is the rule. So you can, at the 4th step, you can use these rules. These rules are very important. Now come to the next with example. With one example, I will clarify all the steps. The example is on January 1, 2021, purchase supplies on credit 5,000. So January 1 actually. January 1, purchase supplies on credit. So first step is to identify the two items. What are the two items in this transaction? The first item is supplies, and you are purchasing it on the credit, so it means the other item will be account payable. This is the liability. The second step is to classify the items as an asset or as a liability or as equity. So supplies is what? Supplies is classified as an asset, accounts payable is classified as a liability. Okay. Now come to the third step. Identify the increase or decrease. So what is there for supplies? If you are purchasing supplies, your supply will increase. Okay, this is increasing. And accounts payable, your liability is also increasing because you are not paying now, you will pay in future. so your liability is increasing. We have found the increase in both the cases. It is possible, as I told you. So asset increase and liability increase. Apply the rules at step 4. Apply the rules for increase or decrease. So assets increase is debited and liability increase is credited. So automatically one item goes to debit and one item goes to credit. If you want to check it, you can go to slide number 7, then you can find it. In this way we have done with the items debit and credit. But this is not the way of writing journal entry. The correct way of writing journal entry is to write in the format. Now I will show you. Make the 5 columns. First column with the date, second column with title and explanation, third will be posting reference, and the 2 columns, one for debit amount and the last column will be credit for the credit amount. Supplies, you have found it was increasing and it has to be debited, so you will write supplies account debit. You need to write the date of the question also, date of the transaction. If this is on January 1, so you write 2021 January 1. Supplies is debited, so write supply debited. Leave the column PR blank. 5000, because this is debited, so this must be written in the debit column. Okay, and accounts payable is credited, so write the accounts payable amount in the credit column. One will be written, debit item will be written in the debit column and credit amount will be written in the credit column. After the journal entry, you need to make a brief explanation. Like this is the journal entry for purchase of supplies on credit, so you will write it being. With the explanation, always you start with this word being. Being supplies purchased on credit, that's it. Whatever is given in the question, you can write as an explanation. The explanation can be written in your own language. Okay, so there is not much problem with the explanation, but the problem and the main thing is the journal entry. The correct item should be written with the debit and in the correct column. The correct item should be written with credit in the correct column. Now I can give you some transactions for your practice. 5 transactions I have given you for practice. If you have any other transactions which you are finding difficulty, so you can write me in the comment section. I will be helping you. The first transaction is supplies sold on credit, sold equipment for cash, borrowed from bank, salaries paid to employees, and notes payable paid 10,000. These are the 5 transactions I have given you. You can make the journal entry, and also you can ask me if you find any difficulty in solution of these journal entries. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel and share the video.